Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the Steve and Mike Show. www.steveandmikeshow.com is up and running, where you can hear such shows as you're about to hear today. This is another edition of On the Mic with Mike, and as always, it's a pleasure having the great ladies and the overall great talents of lingerie fighting championships on the line, and I have one of them that I've been wanting to have on for a while, and to be honest with you, I'm so happy this came into fruition. I'm on the line with the current reigning European champion, Jolene, the Valkyrie Hexx. Jolene, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Likewise, thank you for having me. And I happen to be wearing lingerie right now, even though you can't see it.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If it's anything like we've seen in the cage and in the overall bouts that you've had, I'm sure it's a beautiful ensemble. So.
Oh, what I wear at home, I'm not allowed to wear in LFC, so
okay.
You can use your imagination.
Well, I will say this to you, Jolene. Speaking of LFC, I will say this. I did see the last event at the Nerd Bar. An amazing bout with a newcomer in one Bella Inc. That was a high octane, just overall great assault. Bella coming out the gateway, but at the end you pick up the dub. That was a hell of a bout.
Yeah, she was surprising.
And I will say this, afterwards, besides the amazing bout that we had, we did see you and Andrea, the Storm Vadoy, Gel Jack, and again, that has been one of your big feuds in LFC from Slovakia and just overall past bouts. You two have a great dynamic with each other, so I'm sure we're going to get some fresh matchups out of the two of you in the future.
Man, I hope so. I love fighting with her. Like, we have the best fights. Because we love each other, and at the same time we hate each other, so they're always good.
So I'm going to make a pop culture reference here. Now, when you say those verbiages, there's like a love-hate relationship here. You got me thinking back to 2002. I'm talking about Saliva always. I love you, I hate you, I can't live without you. So I like that. I like how you worded that.
We should have that as our intro song for both of us next time we fight.
I'm be honest with you, that's my youth right there, man. I'm a 90s kid, man, 10 years old, Saliva back into your system. This was also around the time where they were talking about Superstar and, click, click, boom. Are you kidding me? Good times. Oh, we could be here all day with that. But, yes, all in all, I got to say, you and Andrea, that's another great dynamic that I can't wait to see. And I think Bella Inc. held her own, like we mentioned there, but I gotta ask you about the bar in itself, because the Nerd Bar, like LFC, you guys have done a lot of events, at Sam's Town, a very nice venue. That is Sam's Town, many great shows there. Gotta ask you about your experience at the Nerd Bar, because there's a lot of pro wrestling fans, MMA fans, cosplaying. What were your thoughts about the Nerd Bar?
So I was actually surprised that I hadn't heard of it or been there before, and the place was really rad. Like, I want to go back there and just hang out some night when I'm not performing and fighting. Because they had a bowling alley and a bar. They could have a better wine selection, but you can't have it all.
Well, you know what it is too. When you think of the wine thing, because I have a lot of people that love wine. Vineyards, if they don't even just have it there, the vineyards are the classic. Growing up on Long Island, there were vineyards all over the place, wazoo, I swear to God. So you couldn't miss a vineyard in sight. So I heed with your sentiments there. I agree about the wine thing. So yes, what's your favorite type of wine? I'm just curious.
I am a red drinker primarily, but I do have a soft spot for champagne.
You see, I'll be honest with you. I was always kind of, you know what it was too? I think just as a kid, my mom was always big in Moscatos and just red wine was always around there too. But yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. And champagne, you really can't beat champagne. So all right, I dig it. Like I said, I dig it because you can't beat wine. And, it's nice to sit back and unwind. So I like your style. I see what you're doing there. I like your style.
Thanks. I like it sparkly. Got to keep it sparkly.
Absolutely. And I have to say this. I think with the dynamic of the Nerd Bar, and we're going to see a lot more events there with LFC, I think just the fans, I did get the chance to see the YouTube live stream of it. Just the fans were very into it. There was a lot of hectic stuff that did happen with Coach Leon Hader, the new fighter that is, Tomiko, the Temptress Tajima, Jesse El Toro Santos. A lot of stuff went down with you and Andrea as well. I think overall, I really just enjoyed it because I think you ladies really kicked ass and you worked hard. We saw, Ali Parker win the chain of the LFC Booty Camp inaugural chain there. So I think all in all, it was a success top to bottom.
Yeah, it got rowdy, though. Compared to some of the other venues that we have fought at, this one was really kind of, off of the leash, and people just went nuts. So it was a little bit extra. But it was awesome.
Now, Miss Hexx, I have to ask you because, you talk about the venues, and one thing I have to ask, because we're talking about, the venues. I got to ask you about Slovakia because, again, the great fight that you had there with Andrea. Can you talk about the experience of Slovakia? Because Euro Bash, we've seen LFC in Vegas. There's Kansas. We've seen in those particular venues, but you got to tell me about the experience going to Slovakia.
Oh man, that was incredible. Originally, we were supposed to be traveling around and doing a few fights over there in Europe, but we ended up just landing the one fight in Bratislava. And I had been to a few places in Europe before that, and Slovakia just had soul to it that was non-comparable from any of my other travels. The fight itself was really interesting because we had alternating matches between male MMA fights and then our female MMA fights. So it was such a mixed reaction from the crowd, and it was something that European mentality just isn't like they weren't prepared on how to handle that. So it was a really interesting mixed reaction that we got for being there.
I gotta tell you, with the European crowd, very rowdy. I mean, we've seen that with anything, any competitive sports, whether it be wrestling, MMA, what have you. I think there's some rowdy and very passionate European fans. And I'm gonna say this right now, as someone who's been a great follower and a great supporter of LFC. Like I said, being a wrestling fan, I see what they've done in the UK, Japan, Mexico for years and years and years. I'd love to see LFC get into the UK market because the UK are some of the most passionate fans, and I'd love to see them in the UK, Slovakia again. There's so many great European spots, and you being the European champion, there's so many great challengers ahead of you. So I think any more European events I'd love to see because the travel and just the overall experience and ambience of it.
Oh yeah, just to have that belt of bait to travel all over Europe, absolutely, I'm going to hang on to that thing for dear life, and I'll fight whoever I have to, just to have that experience. So I would love for LFC to get huge over there and start making shows around.
And I wanted to talk to you about LFC overall because, we're going to take this back a little because, Miss Hexx, I have to ask you. We see a lot of great talents in there, and I think what's great about LFC is, and this will lead to my question here, what we see with LFC is the three key elements of beauty, strength, and dominance. I look at it as beauty, strength, and dominance as far as the women goes, as far as the fighters go. I mean, you ladies are incredible athletes, but you look sexy and you're strong in doing that with each bout and each event, if I should say. So I have to ask you, how did you get involved in one lingerie fighting championship? How did that whole thing come into fruition for you?
So I had been doing competitive submission wrestling for about 8 years at the time that I reached out to LFC, and they popped up on my Facebook feed. So I sent the producer an email, and he checked out my stuff, and the first fight he had me in was a title fight against Feather Hidden. And that was at Hard Rock in their joint. So it was a huge show to be thrown into a title fight in.
Now I have to ask you about Feather Haddon, Feather the Hammer Haddon, the inaugural LFC champion, and I gotta just say this to you. It's a shame that she had to retire, but what a competitor she was, and that, again, first bout going into, you're going against the champ, that had to be a lot for you to take in.
Oh, it was. Because, all of my competition stuff up until that point was, well, it was relatively low production scale in comparison. So not only was I going in on a title fight, but there was, it was full production. It was a full size MMA cage that we were going into with multiple cameras and the lights, and it was almost a full house. It was really intimidating in a lot of different aspects. I walked into that ring and I was like, oh man, I got stage fright. And then I got my ass kicked. It was awesome. And she, I think I got her down right off the bat, but then she proceeded to just beat the shit out of me, and she's awesomely powerful. I'm sad that she's not involved anymore.
Well, I gotta tell you, even in defeat, I gotta say, you held your own, and I'm gonna say this, and this applies to all the ladies of lingerie fighting championships. You have become an amazing, besides being European champion, but all in all with the company, you are a very integral part of that, and it's always a joy to see your belts, Jolene.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm so beyond happy to be involved in any respect with LFC, and the fact that I'm a title holder and one of the main fighters that they have in most of their events. Like it's awesome to be involved with him.
Okay. I'm gonna make another pop culture reference here, and I'm sorry, but this is the nerd in me. You're kind of like S Club 7. I'm taking it back to Europop thing. You're like everybody wants you because they want Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx on an LFC event. So it's like everybody wants you. You're in demand. It's that whole supply and demand thing. And when we get you, we know we're in for something special.
Hey, man, it feels good.
It does.
I guess to us all. So.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like I talked about the three key elements of beauty, strength, and dominance. Like I've seen detractors with LFC because people like, oh, it's mixed martial arts, but yeah, it's girls in their lingerie. And then what really kind of like deflects that is you look at Greg Frito. Here's a guy who was mentored by Floyd Mayweather Sr. Helped you ladies out a lot from the Vegas events in Samstown, helped train you, and you see the drills that he put you guys through. So I think having that addition with Greg with those events really helped you guys, add more to your repertoire and add more to your styles.
Oh, for sure. We have amazing trainers that get on board. I mean, Greg especially has been just, like priority with getting us whipped into shape before we go in there. And then, I mean, the coaches as well, and some of the gyms and things that open their doors and let us go in and use their facilities. It's just an awesome community effort.
Now, you mentioned coaches, and I have to bring this up. I mean, Leon Hader does an amazing job with you ladies, and I'm just going to say, even though what happened with Leon, I still got to give a shout-out to Leon. Well, then there's your coach. I'm talking about Joel Kane. Now, Joel Kane, I look at Joel, and he entertains me. He does. I've seen the shows with you guys. I know you guys have had a lot of interaction, yourself and Mr. Joel Kane. I have to say this to you. He may be unorthodox, but if you look at it, you're the European champ. Monica Flowerbaum Garcia and Roxy Roundhouse Michaels. Monica was on the black team. Now Roxy Roundhouse Michaels on the pink team has the gold. So, I mean, pink team's got all the gold. You got to be doing something right.
Yeah, if anything, I can't say that Joel is the best technically, but he's a really great motivator in other ways to really, make us persevere on the pink team. So, not to, cut anybody down or lift anybody up too high, he's implemental to our success.
Oh yeah, and I think what's great about it is too, you may not get what he's saying, but I think it's kind of like one of those things where you have to analyze, dissect, and decipher it, and then you're like, oh, this is what it says. But I mean, he's a great motivator, and he has his ways. But like I said, it has led to the pink team's success, and I'm very happy to see both teams just progress with more new fighters, like we saw with Bella Inc., Vatira. We saw a lot come in there. Tamika the Temptress Tajima. I think just the future and progression of LFC. I can't wait to see so many new faces. I mean, LFC on Facebook announced that Katie Forbes is going to be coming in very soon. So I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic what's going on, especially with these booty camp brawls that are going on. I love all the new talent that's getting introduced.
What I have to ask you about is another thing I wanted to tie in here, because I always love asking the question about MMA and the pro wrestling tie-ins. Me, I'm a fan of both. I think I respect the art forms that they are, because that's what they are. They're art forms. And there's so many different styles here, whether it be MMA, pro wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, with you ladies in LFC. So I got to ask you, what do you think about the old MMA, pro wrestling tie-in overall? We've seen it with Ronda Rousey. We've seen it with Ken Shamrock, Tank Abbott, Brock Lesnar, a CM Punk dabble into. What do you think about the overall MMA, pro wrestling tie-ins that we see today in the correlations?
I think it was inevitable. WWE, took standardized wrestling and turned it into WWE. And when MMA got as huge as it did, in the recent years, it was inevitable that it was going to also kind of turn over into that, because there's just so many people that get put in the spotlight, and there's a shelf life. Honestly, getting punched full force in the face. So, I mean, the next best thing is WWE, and it's a different level of athleticism that allows people to go longer than they could in the ring, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. And what's great about it, too, is I mentioned the names like Ronda Rousey. I got to include Shayna Baszler's and the Jessamine Dukes there, because you look at women's mixed martial arts, you look at spots like Invicta. Shayna Baszler is an alumni of Invicta, so is Jessamine Duke, and a lot of the Invicta girls have gone on to, UFC. So I think LFC and Invicta, for women's mixed martial arts and just in general, I think that's great proving grounds, great stomping grounds, and just, again, provides more progression for athletes to get better, add more to the repertoire. And I think they're both, relatively great promotions that really help and accentuate the ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And like, um, it's just, like as you get older and as you're in a business for longer, especially an athletic based one, like there's a progression that takes place, and it's nice that um, that we've got all these outlets because once you have to like take a step back from one modality of it, like once you're an athlete, you're always an athlete. So
Great.
it's great the spotlight, still shines throughout like the whole lifespan of it.
Now with wrestling, like what's great about it is I've had Jenny Bloody Valentine on the show. I've had a lot of girls as well that have done session as well. So I got to ask you, how do the whole session girls come into fruition? Because I see you doing stuff with the likes of the Spoiler, Trinity. You do a lot of great matchups, and it's fun and it's very entertaining and it's very hard hitting. So I got to ask you, how did the whole session girls thing come into fruition on that side of things?
Um, Sessions just kind of naturally happened because I was doing submission wrestling competitively for so long. I gained a lot of fans in that world that just kind of evolved into some session work, um, which is super fun. And it was a lucrative way to keep me on my toes and never be bored. So it's nice that people like Jenny Bloody Valentine and some other companies even have that platform for fans to interact so individually with like us. It's an awesome little sub niche.
And I will say, like, because I've seen your work, like I mentioned with that, and I've seen you ladies all in the session community, and I got to say, the interactive standpoint and just overall, I kind of dig just because, like, you guys are just, whether it be head scissors on the guys or just going, toe to toe with each other. I think it's another form of combat that I dig, and I think I really accentuate you ladies. I know I have to reiterate that, but I just got to say, I've seen your work in that, and I've got to give much love and respect to people doing their session work like yourself, like Jenny Bloody Valentine. I think it's a great outlet, and it's an overall great platform.
Yeah, it's a really cool community. Like, and it's like kind of a small community too, which is awesome because we all kind of bounce off of each other, and like, um, the risk is real low, and everybody has a good time, and that's really all that matters.
Exactly, because if you don't love what you're doing, then why do you do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I absolutely know what you're saying, and I can't understand why anybody does anything they don't like to do. So
Now it's
I'm with you on that.
now it's something that you like to do. I mean, you just with LFC, we got to talk about some more of your opponents because the Andrea story is far from over. Again, great dynamic, and I love it. You two are practically joined at the hip. You're practically marrying each other when it comes into that cage because y'all just have some of the best bouts. And we mentioned Feather the Hammerhead, and I got to ask you about a couple more bouts here. When we talked about Bella Inc., Bella coming right out the gate. Again, amazing matchup at LFC 26. I got to ask you about two in particular. The last one, LFC 25. I'm talking about bringing in CJ Ice Cold. What's cooler than being cool ice cold? Talking about Outcast. Hey, there, Kellerman. Can you talk about?
Yeah.
Can you talk about CJ Ice Cold Kellerman? Because I dug it. I think she's got a great build, great size, and you two had a hell of a bout.
Yeah, no, she was a ton of fun to get in there with, and I've been getting into this habit. I think ever since I got the European Championship, where I'm a little bit too cocky when I first walk into the ring. So actually, come to think of it, both her and Bella, like both just shot out of the gate, like so much more aggressively than I anticipated. Like I just kind of expected to like walk in there and mop the floor because honestly, I do that a lot. I just like win. So I've been letting my guard down a little bit, and these girls have been surprising. And man, um, Ice Cold was just like, she was a beast.
Now, here's what's funny about that is because I did notice that. I'm glad that you brought this up because this guy I want to dig you. You talk about cockiness. There's an old saying that goes, "It's not cockiness, it's confidence." So I'm gonna flip the script on and use another word, another c word. You got confidence with you. I like your style. And me, as again going back to wrestling for a second, I look at the great heels like a Roddy Piper. The dude had the gift of jab. He can talk and he can get it done in the squared circle. There's so many great heels out there, but that's just one in particular. Look at the '80s. It was predominantly done by Roddy Piper. Nature Boy Ric Flair. Yes, he had that flash, but he could go in the ring and he could talk and he could back up what he was doing. So you talk about it, but you could back it up. So that's what you're gonna have. You got the gift of gab, gift of jab, and then you go out there and you get the job done. So flipping the script on that cockiness, turning it into confidence for you.
It's it's true, but I do notice that I need to like not be so like, nah, whatever. When I walk in the ring, that's what I've been doing the last couple of times. It's just like, whatever, I'm the champ, and then they rush me. So it makes the first round real interesting. But I'm holding on to that belt, so I need to get that aggression back.
Well, I got to tell you something. You do have that aggression with all that, and I dig it. But I got to just say, I laugh every time because I see the last couple fights, like you mentioned. You just come in there, you're there, whatever. I'm the champ. Get at me. I'm the Valkyrie. Jolene, Hexx, we in here about to go at it, and then bada boom, they're coming at you. So I mean,
I know
it's entertaining, but it's like, god dang.
Because I used to like go into the ring with like something to prove, you know, like I was like, oh man, you're like I go in like like ready, and like. It's not even, it's totally subconscious now. It's like, nah, I've already proved myself. So I walk in the door and I'm like, nah, whatever, you guys, I'm the champ. And then they have to provoke it out of me.
You know what it is, too? You kind of got, and I'm going to take it off CJ's nickname, you got that ice-cold stare. Some would say like the eye of the tiger. I'm taking it back to Rocky 3 for a second here. You got that stare, you got something to prove, you're ready to get in there. But after a while, it's kind of just like, you know what? Hey, I'm the champ. I'm in here. Let's just go. And that's what you've done. And that's what I like about it because it goes from eye of the tiger. And then it's just kind of like, you know what? I'm already the champ. Boom. You go in there. So I think that style has come out of you. But like I said, I want to see more of that, intense style out of you that we've seen. I want to see more of the cockiness. Give it a nice little blend to it, Jolene, and you'll be just fine. Like I say, because I'm entertained with every bout.
No, I've got to balance it out because this is like my first legit like big title. Like, I'm the pudding wrestling champ, and then I was the lube wrestling champ. But those are like, like silly little titles I got. But I've always won pretty much everything. So like that's nothing new to me. But now that I have this big pink belt, it's done something to where like I'm not coming in the cage looking for blood like I used to. Now I come in the cage like skipping because I'm already on top of the world. So yeah, I've got to find my balance in that, and I will. But it's made the last few fights, first round, really interesting.
No,
I have to admit. So it's worked out either way.
Two things I'd like to add to that. Number one, because I want to go back to the B word, because it's funny you mentioned the B word. That is balance. But first and foremost, I got to say, there was a tough wrestler by the name of AJ Lee who used to come out. She may have been a little nuts, but she would come out skipping, not with a care. So I see you skipping. I see you doing your thing. I like that. That adds a little more to your finesse. And it don't make no sense. Challenge might have Bruno Mars there, dripping in finesse coming out where they're skipping. That's another thing. So I'm glad you brought that up. And number two, I got to mention this to you. Talk about balance. When I talk to you LFC girls, and what's great about you guys got great passion. You guys are very intense. And I think that comes up a lot of you guys. You guys got to find the balance. And what's great about you ladies is each and every one of you do. So I know you will find your balance. I know you will just continue to succeed and shine. The two S's, succeed and shine.
Well, yeah, and thank you for the confidence and the praise. And that's all I know how to do. So I'll just keep doing it.
Right on. All right, another opponent I have to ask you about, because then I have a couple final things we're going to get into here. But I got to ask you about Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre. I know you've gotten to a bout with her. Danielle's another one that's very tough, that goes at it. We've seen her going against Serena Honey Punch Kyle in a few bouts. Can you talk about taking on Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre?
She was definitely like surprising because her stature is just really slender, and she's not very muscular. Like Kellerman, she was built and she had obvious muscle tone, and I had seen some of Danielle's fights in the past, and I just didn't really feel like she was going to be a real fight at all. But man, that girl, she knew what was up. She had great technique, she had great form, and she knew how to use that skinny little frame of hers in a very powerful way. So I had a lot of fun rolling with her.
I got to say, because I look at you too, like obviously, like you mentioned, Danielle's very slender, very, but she has that technique, and as they say, to quote an old rap song, don't sweat the technique. So, I mean, you guys gelled well. That's what I'm saying. I look at these fights, whether you be with someone who's built like CJ, going in there against Andrea, who's a spitfire, and she's not afraid to tell you that she's an Olympic athlete, and, she's just ready to go in there and pounce. So, I mean, anything you're coming up against, I think it makes for an interesting dynamic, and that's actually was going to be my follow-up, Jolene, going to towards the future, who are some of the opponents that you've not got a chance to, get into the LFC cage with? Who'd you like to get into there with?
Oh man, I would love to get in there with Shelly just right off the bat, like, because she's so crazy and she's like fit girls and she's always like a little dirty. Like, I would love to go in there and just whoop her ass. I would have so much fun doing that. Like Jenny Valentine, that chick is a legend. I would love to see how her and I match up. I could just imagine that it would just be an all-out kind of like bloodbath brawl because her and I just have such ferocity to us. Who else? Of course, Andrea. I'll get in the ring with her any day. Monica. I want to get in there with the other title holder and have both belts, to be honest. So, like, I really want to fight Monica. And sorry, I see a spider. I've got to kill it while I'm on the phone with you. Ah, it ran away, bastard. Okay, sorry. I just threw something. Okay, well, I just got in a fight with a spider.
Well, I'll be
I don't know who won.
By the way, wait, hold on, sidebar for 1 second, just because you're cracking me up on this. Folks, I can be completely honest with you. There have been times where you'll hear like a little snatch because bugs happen. Bugs come around, whether it be a spider, what have you. There have been some times where sometimes you got to smash them, you know what I'm saying, or throw them like Miss Jolene just did here. So it does happen. So that's why I was cracking up because been there.
I'm on the phone with you thinking about who I want to beat up, and this big ass spider just crawled out from behind my curtains, and I just broke my curtains.
It's the spider. That's the next fight. You and the spider, and I think you just won.
I don't know who just won that because I can't find his body, but okay, I'm back. I want to fight everybody. That's what I want to do.
Okay, so minus the spider, I will add to that. Okay, so we talk about Monica Flowerbomb Garcia. That one I'm interested in because with Monica, former champ, obviously we got Roxy Roundhouse Michaels as a champ now. She had an amazing main event bout against Allie Baby Doll Parks, who now has the chain. So I got to tell you something. Monica has proven herself, and even if you look at Monica's track record, she comes in, defeats Shay the Fox Mazzato. She's the champ. Then she goes in LFC 25, obviously no longer the champ, but that's a hell of a debut. You come in and you win the title, and she's proven herself to be very dominant in the LFC circle.
Yeah, I want to fight her, and I want her belt.
You see,
that's it.
See, I don't even have to just go into I want to fight her, take the belt, that's it. You're kind of, I'm going to make a reference here. You're kind of like the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Arrive, raise, hell, leave. That's you. You're very stone cold about it. I like it.
I just want it.
Well, Miss Jolene, I have to ask you, because what's great about the LFC, obviously, is also the nicknames, because there's a lot of great elements about LFC. We mentioned beauty, strength, and dominance. We talked about you ladies as fighters. We talked about the bouts. We've talked about the venues, but the nicknames, it's what's really hold up, like Monica Flowerbomb Garcia, Serena Honey Punch Kyle, Jessie El Toro Santos, Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre, Allie Baby Doll Parks. We could go on down the line, so I have to ask you, Jolene, the Valkyrie Hexx, how did the Valkyrie nickname come to fruition?
So when I started doing strong girl stuff and competitive wrestling, I had to have like my nickname. So like Hexx was already kind of like Nordic and Viking origin, and so I kind of went like that direction. And the Valkyrie is the angel of death that delivers souls to Valhalla. Of course I was going to be the Valkyrie. And take souls. I'm taking names, I'm taking souls.
Okay. Again, this is the nerd in me. So, all right. You see, you just went up more legendary status here because I said Stone Cold Steve Austin, arrive, raise, hell, leave. You're kind of like the Undertaker then of LFC. You're taking souls and you're digging holes. I see this. I like the mentality of you. I see it. All right. But, I mean, the Angel of Death, like you mentioned, and like obviously we see in wrestling, Taya Valkyrie, who's doing her thing over in Impact Wrestling, the Angel of Death, the Valhalla, and I gotta ask you, because I remember watching the video of this, because I wanted to touch upon this and ask you, but I also did see the LC Nicknames video on their YouTube channel. Dirt biking, how did this whole, dirt biking, is dirt biking like a passion for you? But I know you did a lot of dirt biking. How did the dirt biking thing come to fruition?
I used to. I've always been involved in some kind of adrenaline-based danger sport since I've been in high school. It started with training horses, and then I started racing dirt bikes, and then I broke my knee, and then I got another horse, and it broke my knee again, and then I started fighting. So, yeah, that's pretty much the progression. I just need something to get that level of energy out of me, and it's either got a hair or a motor or very long hair, like these girls I'm fighting now. Man, the hair gets in the way.
I gotta tell you something. Well, as you're telling me about this, I'm smiling because I'm taking it back to 2001. 9-year-old Mike Larkin watching motocross on the Disney Channel. You know, Alana Austin as the girl motocross, you know, just doing her thing on the bikes and doing motocross. And I think of Ultimate X, the movie that came out in 2002, which saw the likes of, you know, your Travis Pastranas, your Tony Hawks, and everybody in the Ultimate X, and, you know, the X Games scene. So, I mean, that flashes back to me, and it brings me back to good times with, you know, dirt biking, motocross, skateboarding, cycling, just the whole nine, man. So I'm smiling just hearing you talk about dirt bikes here.
Even you like bringing it up, I can vaguely hear System of a Down like blasting on my way out to the track every weekend. Like I would just like always like amp up the system and go out there and just like go nuts and break shit and go home.
It's a little toxicity, man. Wake up, grab brush, and put a little makeup, a little chop suey on you.
Yeah, that was one of my like anthems on the way out to the track every weekend.
Somebody put on some Sum 41 Fat Lip, just anything around that. A little drowning pool. Let the bodies hit the floor. How you doing? Yes.
Oh man, it reminds me of, like my first. You know, I guess I was always meant for like real close physical aggressive contact because like my first time doing riding arena cross, I smashed into another rider and broke his leg. Man, was he mad when I took off my helmet and he thought I was a girl.
All right. You see, I'm building you up again as far as legendary status because I hear you tell that story and I think about your toughness. I mentioned the likes of Stone Cold The Undertaker. I'm going to make a female reference here. I'm talking about Alundra Blaze / Medusa because Medusa rides the monster trucks. You're kind of like the Medusa of the LFC. So I went to some big top names in males and now I'm putting it back. All comes full circle with the females. I'm talking about Alundra Blaze, Medusa of the LFC. You talk about dirt bike and all that, I just went straight to monster trucks. I just made you extreme with an X. Take off the E because we don't need it. Extreme. Boom.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm just saying, man.
Ride home now.
Exactly, because I think because you're kind of like adrenaline rush, the need for speed, and I like it because you're in competitive sports, dirt bike and LFC. I said you're a perfect fit whatever you do. You're like a jack of all trades, Miss Hexx.
I've gotten to a certain point of it. Like once something breaks me enough, I have to move on to the next thing. So, fortunately, like. These girls, they can't break me like a 250 4-stroke or a 1,200-pound horse used to. So I'm in it for the long run.
Again, one more pop culture reference, I swear. Again, this is just the nerd in me, but you kind of got that Kanye West vibe about you. Harder, better, faster, stronger. They can't break you.
There's another song. I don't know if you'd know the reference. It's a rather new song, but man, who's the artist? Might miss you or something, but it's like I want
okay.
Money, power, champagne, and fame.
Yes.
That's my anthem.
Oh my God, I know who sings that, but I'm drawing a blank.
You know, I want money and power and champagne.
Yes.
And
Oh,
fame.
that's
me.
That's gonna bug me. I gotta look that up when we're done. But yeah, I just went back to Daft Punk there because Daft Punk was the original one that did that before they were talking about one more time, and music got me feeling so free. We're going to celebrate and get lucky. See, we could be here all day with this. Like I love that. I'm just smiling because you brought that up. Oh, good times. My goodness. But Miss Hexx, I gotta just tell you something. First and foremost, before I even have you, final questions here, you're more than welcome to come back on this show anytime. Just talk whatever, shoot the breeze. It's been an absolute pleasure talking today, and I appreciate your time.
Hey, man, thank you. And they invite me anytime. I'm bad at reaching out, but if you reach out to me, I'll be here.
Hey, I got you. Please. It's my pleasure, and I'm happy to do this for you. That's the great thing about podcasting. It's giving giving the stars, giving people the chance and the platform to tell their story, and you told it very well, so thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, okay, couple final questions, and before I have you promote your events, the social medias, LFC, the whole nine, I got to ask you, any advice you want to give? Because we talked about a lot here. We're talking about dirt bike, and we're talking about session girls wrestling. We're talking about LFC. We're talking about a whole lot, Miss Hexx. So anybody who wants to get into LFC, pro wrestling, whatever endeavor in life, what advice would you give them?
Train and pursue it. Absolutely. You want to get into something like this, like, at least learn some techniques before you get into it, but then like jump in, like feet first, head first, just get in there and do it.
I think that was just beautifully said, straight to the point, and I love asking that question because I know a lot of people can get inspired from listening to shows like this and just in general, and I always like giving the guest here the forum, spread that positivity and just shed a light for anybody listening. So listeners, adhere to that advice and adhere and just do what Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx is doing and just doing it to the best of her abilities and just being the awesome human being that she is. So, and I meant that with the utmost sincerity and respect towards you, Jolene.
Well, hey, thank you. I'm going to go to sleep with a smile on my face tonight.
You were very welcome. Nice. So, I gotta just say this. This is, ladies first is not just a Queen Latifah song. I gotta just say this to you. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Lingerie Fighting Championship, upcoming events. The floor is yours. Plug yourself, promote yourself. The floor is yours, Ms. Hexx.
All right, so I'm real easy to plug because I'm terrible at social media. So, all I have right now is a Facebook because Instagram kicked me off like 3 times, and I canceled my Twitter because I got over it. So, check me out on Facebook. I think it's like / Hexx Jolene instead of Jolene Hexx because that one got canceled too. If you can't find me directly like that, you can find me through LFC. I definitely suggest getting on board with them, doing their monthly membership sites to keep updated with everything, buying the calendar and getting me to sign it, do all that stuff. I'm around. If you want to find me, you'll find me. Send me a message. Send me 2 messages because sometimes I don't get back to the first one. That's all the plugging I have.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, and I actually just wanted to talk about those last 2 things. Thank you for bringing it up again, for reminding me, because that actually is one of the things I forgot in my notes. But I will say this. Below the description of this audio, folks, you will get every LFC link from their website, the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. And if you want to check out Jolene on Facebook, that'll be in the description. So everybody can check it out after the show to check out yourself in LFC. So everything will be accessible for everyone after they were done.
Cool.
Now, okay, 2 things. First and foremost, number 1, I gotta say, to the person that did Jolene Hexx in the new WWE 2K game, doing like a creator wrestler on that, I dug that. I thought because the graphics, and I was big into that game. Somebody did a thing with you, Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx. I thought that was awesome, and I thought that was super cool. So, gotta give a shout out to that person. It's on the LFC Facebook page, and you guys can check that out. I'll put that in the description. So I just want to give a shout out to that person.
Yeah, dude, we're the coolest fans.
Oh my God, I've seen so many drawings, people, maybe creative wrestlers and video games. That is cool. That is the utmost rewarding thing I can just say for you ladies. That is awesome. So people, keep it up. Keep up the support. And, I got to talk about this LFC calendar because I do have the calendar, and I think your month, you came out great, looking beautiful as you do. All the ladies came out great.
Yeah.
You're welcome. If you've not purchased or the digital download for the calendar, get on that. And I think for me, just last thing, I swear with pop culture, but calendars. Like, I remember as a kid getting stickers and the J14 magazines and the CDs, the whole 9, and calendars of my favorite sports and plaques. We could be here all day. So I think it's very apropos, and quite frankly, it's finally that LFC has a calendar, and I think it came out wonderful. And can you tell us about your shoot and just the overall shoot of the LFC calendar, Jolene?
Yeah, absolutely. And remind me after I talk about this calendar to mention T-shirts too that have my picture on them.
Okay.
But the calendar, they gave me the March month because I'm Irish, and so I got covered in a bunch of green shamrock coins over my naked body, and it was a pretty nice shoot. And actually, with all the shoots that I do, a pretty relaxing shoot. I had a pillow under my head. It was perfect.
I gotta tell you, and what's great about the March month, that actually kind of got me sentimental in a way because, first and foremost, your shoot came out great with the St. Patrick's Day vibe and the Irish vibe. But my grandfather, God rest his soul, he passed away when I was 9. My grandfather's birthday was March 17th, so when we were not celebrating St. Patrick's Day, that was also my grandfather's birthday, so that was always fun times as a kid. And I still miss my
Nice.
grandfather till this day. So, like I said, you're bringing up great memories there again, so thank you for that.
Cool. I'm glad I can be associated to good times. I'd rather be associated to the bad ones, you know?
Yes, I mean, we could start singing Chumbawamba and saying, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. We could go that direction, but hey, I like it. And I truly, in all honesty and sincerity, I thank you for that. So, now, T-shirts, Miss Hexx. Talk about the T-shirts with your face on them. T-shirts looking great.
T-shirt. Yeah, so they just released T-shirts with a bunch of us on them. So they picked my shirt with, like, I've got my belt on. And I think they put something on it like, do you think you can take this belt off of me? It's pretty cute. If you wear that to one of my fights, I will sign your titty or my titty. Somebody's titty's getting signed if you wear that to my fight. So do it.
All right, and I'll add just a little reminder there. Like, I believe it's teespring.com, and I believe Lingerie Fighting Championship. You can check it out on their Facebook. They post a lot of those, so you can find them easily accessible, and I'm sure you can get it all on the website as well. So every link, so if you want to get some Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx shirts, please do it. That's where it will be shown and for everybody to check it out. So please do check it out, because a lot of the girls, like yourself, like Bella Inc., and Tomiko, a lot of great t-shirts coming out there, and I think it's great that you guys got the merch.
Yeah, they're super cute. I've already, like, I've had a handful of people, like, get them already that I know, and they're, like, really awesome shirts. So.
Well, speaking of awesome, Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, you're very awesome, and I can't wait to work with you again. I think it's been an absolute blast talking to you tonight and just shooting the breeze and having you tell your story. We will do this again, and again, this is one final time where I step back, and I will say to you, do you have any final words for the fans that have been supporting the Lingerie Fighting Championships and Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx from the get-go, and do you have the final words for them?
Hey, to all the fans of LFC and especially to the fans of me, like, I appreciate you guys. Like, I wouldn't be able to do this on the level that I do without your support and just your presence in the whole scene. So, like, from the bottom of my soul, thank you for that. It allows me to go out and steal other souls and take them to the good place or the bad place or wherever I want to take them. Like,
see, now you're just teasing them. You got that element of surprise type of vibes there. I see you. I see how you work. I like it. I take it.
Yeah, but seriously, like, we really do have the best fans. And I mean, I would probably still just be, like, training in a gym somewhere, you know, if not for the fans that support this entire scene. So, like, it doesn't work without you.
Agreed. And I'd hold to that. That's why I love doing media for the LFC. And I think it's just an absolute blast. And you guys, if you attend, you're in for a great time. So, and I will say this, one other thing, because you mentioned, like, you know, you're talking about, you know, taking them to the good or the bad place. You're kind of like they say ramblings of a madman when they're talking about the, you know, loca and la cabeza kind of people. I'm going to say this, ramblings of a mad woman. Like I said, element of surprise. You don't know what you're doing. I think that's what makes you a dangerous competitor.
Yeah. Actually, I completely disagree with you on that because I really don't know what I'm doing. I just do it. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we know that I'm going to win most of the time, all the time, hopefully. But other than that,
I gotta bring you up, man. Like I said integral part. Like that's what I love about this. You get to bring a lot of these ladies up, even though you say you don't know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, and you're enticing, and you're evoking a lot of emotions. They're not sitting on their hands; they're standing up and cheering for you. So, boom, that's the great emotion, the great rewarding feeling right there, right?
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
All right. Now, Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, again, thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to say this right now. We're going to do it again. A lot more LFC stuff to come. So, guys, I want to thank you all very much for listening to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. For Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you all for listening. And Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, one more time, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Mike, thank you very much. I look forward to doing this again.
All right, guys, we are done, and I'll talk to you next time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the Steve and Mike Show. www.steveandmikeshow.com is up and running, where you can hear such shows as you're about to hear today. This is another edition of On the Mic with Mike. round two, and I'm pleased to have on this individual, the current reigning and defending LFC European champion, Miss Jolene, the Valkyrie Hexx. Jolene, how are you? As always, it's a pleasure.
Good, Mike. Thanks. It's really nice to be talking to you again.
Well, we had so much fun last time. We were cracking and giggling because last time we were talking about your illustrious career in LFC and what you've done and your accolades and you just being the integral part of LFC that you are. You know, you're also killing spiders at the same time as the last interview.
Killing spiders, taking names.
Killing spiders, taking names. But yeah, no, now we're here. We were talking the last time we we were talking about your bout with Bella Inc. at LFC 26. Bella making a hell of a debut and a hell of a name for herself. And we're going to talk about a lot of these events that we just had. But first and foremost, I have to talk about you, Miss Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, because last time you were actually on the show, you were talking about wanting to face Monica Flowerbomb Garcia. We got there at LFC 27, sexy, nerdy, inked, and curvy. And, well, we saw a lot of chaos run its course there. I mean, you wouldn't let go of the hold on Jolene. You went after Holly the Lotus May, who is now the former interim president of LFC. What happened there? Because, first and foremost, great bout, number one. But number two, what happened there, Jolene?
Well, I'm not going to say I'm not proud of myself. I might have broken a few rules, but not any more than any other girls have broken. I think that my suspension was completely unjust. And honestly, that fight with Monica, it was a brawl, and it got emotional, as sometimes the fights do. And I took it a little too far, but I had a good time doing it.
Now, I will say this, I'll be honest with you, because looking at your fights, I know you're very edgy and you go in there to put on a show, and you go in there to entertain, and I think you did that. But I will say this, as Holly was an interim prez at the time, and you know, she was very apparent about not putting her hands on you, and we saw a lot more going into this for LFC 28 and LFC 29, that is a bout that a lot of people in LFC want to see between you and Holly the Lotus May, and I think it's going to happen in the future. She stepped down. Holly wants a piece of you. So I got to say this to you first and foremost. What are your words that you have to say about one Holly the Lotus May, another formidable competitor who was on the black team?
You know, me and Holly have always had kind of like this push and pull dynamic between the two of us. Like, some days we're cool and some days we're a little snippy to each other. And that day, I mean, I can't really blame it on any specific thing. I was just a little moody, and she rubbed me the wrong way. And she's really been asserting her position as interim prez, a little bit too strongly, and she needed to be put in her place. And man, I cannot wait to put her in her place between my legs, tapping out.
Now, I know you're also fighting champion as well, so I mean, I think there's a case for obviously Holly the Lotus May and Monica Flowerbomb Garcia to go for your European championship.
Bring it.
You see, here's the thing also that I just want to add to that, because here's the thing. I love intensity, and I love where your place is coming from, but also I have to add this as well, because we mentioned two integral parts, two integral names, Holly the Lotus May, Monica Flowerbomb Garcia. There's a certain someone now who is the LFC champion, and her name is Andrea the Stormblood Doi. Can we possibly be seeing in the future maybe a unification match? Maybe, just the two of you finally settling this once and for all?
I would love to have both belts. You have no idea. That ultimately is what I'm going for. And if that means I have to steamroll Holly, steamroll Monica, and steamroll Andrea to get him, then that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be an awesome show. And then I'll be like the double champ.
Well, when it comes to being the double champ, I personally, I look at it like this, because we had Shay the Fox Mazzato. She had a hell of a bout. It's a rematch from LFC 23. Her and Monica Flowerbomb Garcia, a lot of blood getting involved. It was very physical. Shay won, and Shay, being a veteran of LFC in her own right, we saw what happened in LFC 25, the David and Goliath bout with her and Jesse El Toro Santos, and now Shay coming back and winning the vacant LFC championship after Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, her marriage to WWE superstar Drake Maverick and injuries aside. She hadn't defended that championship, and we needed to crown a new champion. That was Shay. So I got to ask you, as someone who's seen her rise as well, what did you think of the bout between Shay and Monica, the rematch?
Oh, it was incredible. They brought so much energy, so much passion, so much violence. Like, that was fantastic to watch. And, you know, that was, I got to be a spectator at that match because I was disqualified. So it was nice to be ringside and not have to support any one side.
So, now, being a spectator, speaking of spectators, you dressing up the way you did, you came through the crowd. I'm trying really hard not to laugh, but you came to the crowd. You wore what you wore. Gypsy Top Shelf Bay. Can you talk about the mindset going into that? Because you made a hell of an entrance. You were trying to get under Holly's skin, which I know you did. And we saw what happened there, and we'll talk about LFC 29 in a second. But Miss Valkyrie, my goodness. Gypsy Top Shelf Bay, a relatively newcomer to LFC. You just beaten her like she stole something. Dropped her like a bad habit. What was the mindset going into LFC 28?
I did not expect to get that lucky. All right, so you obviously know the lingerie restrictions and everything
Yes.
for LFC, and I've gotten in trouble in the past for being a little bit too scantily clad with my outfit choices. Usually the pre-show emails have at least 2 points addressed to me, like, Jolene, no swearing. Jolene, cover your ass. So I was just planning on making a little bit of an exhibition of myself to not necessarily piss off the producers, even though that was inevitable, but really she's the interim prize. I mean, it was going to reflect on her badly. So, I mean, I just thought I was going to jump in the ring at some point and take off my clothes and shake my red, white, and blue boobies in her face. And the fact that Gypsy's opponent didn't show up was, like, perfect. Like, who could have anticipated it being so perfect?
And for the record, yes, Shea Golden, unfortunately, did not show up. So you came in and took on Gypsy. Now, I have to ask you a little something. Well, first and foremost, I just have to add, God bless America. And number two, first and foremost, well, you did look good. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm a man. And I'm a professional, but god dang, sometimes us as men, we turn into like 13-year-olds in health class, and we're grown-ups. We're grown-ups. It happens.
I love being a woman for that fact alone. Like, it is so much fun to play with testosterone.
You know what? Yeah, and number two, I can't follow that. But number two, well, first and foremost, we've talked about this. You're a beautiful woman. You were very accentuated, and I could say this. You know what I'm saying, Jolene? You know I got nothing but love and respect for you. But my goodness, if it was Independence Day, you know, or 4th of July, why not? Red, white, and blue, raising hell, you know, raising Old Glory, and you come out there, you did what you did to Gypsy. So I just wanted to ask you about Gypsy. Now that my testosterone has lowered, Miss Hexx. I have to ask you about Gypsy Top Shelf Bay. See, yes. So in all seriousness, Miss Gypsy Top Shelf Bay, relatively newcomer to LFC, like I mentioned before. So I have to ask you, we saw her also go against Lauren the Animal Fogel, and also in short fashion, LFC 29, another veteran in her own right, also coming back after her bout against Jezabella Fire Queen Marie. So I have to ask you, what did you think about Gypsy Top Shelf Bay? Do you think potential? Think she's gonna, you know, raise hell going into the future? Because I could tell she was very excited. She was very exuberant, very vibrant. So I hope to see more from Gypsy in the LFC.
She was cute, no doubt. Like, she's a cute girl. The only thing I can say is kind of lacking in these booty camp fights that we've been doing is because it's introducing so much new talent. I think that the filtering process has gotten a little weak. Gypsy could use some more time in the gym before she gets in the ring. She's a really cute girl. She's got a lot of energy. She's got a lot of guts, but she needs to work on her skills.
Now, I want to actually...
She ran away from me.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be an asshole because she's a cute girl and everything, but, like, come on now.
First and foremost, I love you. I was just about to segue to that. And number two, and also, good Lord, woman, she ran away from me, but yeah, she's still a cute girl. Oh.
Yeah, I know, she's adorable. Like, I would love to, like, go get an ice cream with her, but, like, it wasn't really a fight.
Hey, I will say this. All right, sidebar here, just because this is not just a podcast host and a journalist, so to speak, dagnabbit, to quote Corey Matthews in Season 4's episode of Boy Meets World, Chick Like Me. But, yes, I used the Boy Meets World reference. And number 2, also just to be serious for a second here, I'd rather have you go get ice cream than probably one of the most infamous moments in LFC reality's exposed history, friggin' Joel Kane talking about sausage. And number 1, I believe...
Oh my god.
Yes, probably one of the most, wow. And you talk about me, friggin' sausage and how that's how offensive and not offensive, and just having to have this explained to him, like, okay. And number 2, first and foremost, I know that you're a vegan. So I was trying so hard not to laugh so much at that. I'm like, now, what was your shoes like when he's talking about sausage? And it's like, hello, I'm a vegan. So, like, what?
I'm a vegetarian. I do milk products and eggs every once in a while. But, yeah, he's like, come with me to the sausage factory. I was like, Joel, is this your way of, like, being unprofessional? Like, what are you trying to lure me into? But this guy was literally looking for a sausage factory. And Joel's funny. Of course, I'm going to go on a sausage adventure with him in Europe. Like, that's silly to pass up on that. So when many opportunities do you get to do that?
Well, I just have to say, I'm actually going to put that in the description below this audio. So if people want to see Joel Kane going to the sausage factory with Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, you can check it out on LFC's YouTube page. And this is me being, like, straight up in here. Probably some of the most entertaining stuff is from that reality series, whether it be with Andrea and Leon, and then now we found out that Andrea was a better coach than Leon, and I tell Leon from now on that he sucks. I don't even want to hear about your coaching. So, I love you, Leon, but no, man. I mean, we really have a lot of fun with the reality stuff, and I mean, this is also Joel Kane, who got shoved in a pool by the former LFC champ Roxy Roundhouse Michaels. I think your opponent Holly has thrown him in the pool. I mean, poor Jesse El Toro Santos thrown in the pool. That man has gone through so many pools. It's not even funny.
Well, I hope you like the swim, but yeah, he is a funny dude. I like to appeal to his I don't even know how to classify his personality, but
eclectic, eccentric.
Not necessarily as a coach, but as a mascot. I consider him more of a mascot for our team.
Well, he's eclectic and well, yeah, he's kind of eclectic and very eccentric, if you will. But I mean, if you actually think about it, I mean, pink team, man. I mean, Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, you for example. I mean, he led his team to gold. So I mean, through his unorthodox methods, you could say that it has worked out for the pink team.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that one time he dressed up like a monkey in a cage? That's the Joel that I envisioned.
I also have that image. Yeah, I did see that.
Did you ever see that?
I did.
Like that. That's just like permanently whenever I see or think about Joel, like he's our monkey. So.
Well, he's kind of like whether he was with Mike Modest as a coach back in the day, and then Leon coming into fruition as far as the coaching side of things. Probably some of the most entertaining moments. I still crack up when Agatha Cannibal Carter, who we'll talk about in a second here, but Agatha Cannibal Carter, she finds out that she's on the pink team, and then there's Joel getting caught up in the equipment, and he needs to get help, and I mean, just stuff like that just makes you smile and make you laugh.
Yeah, I was training on the other side of the gym when that happened. I turned around. I was like, what is he doing? Like, he's always like that. Like, and it's just unintentional. He's just a slow moving train wreck.
Yes.
It's comical.
It is. I mean, and the one other thing I'll mention with Joel, I mean, teaching Terry Feisty Fist London new dance moves, but I'm like, first of all, Terry Feisty Fist London is an amazing dancer, some of the best entrances, and he's like doing like the can, and I'm like, what are we doing here? But it makes for amazing and entertaining LFC reality TV. So
that guy's awesome.
Yes. Now, here's the thing I got to mention to you. All right. One other thing with the coaches, because since we're on the subject, I have to ask you, Tomiko the Temptress Tajima, she's going against Civil Star. She's going against Jesse El Toro Santos. How about that restraining order against Leon?
Well, he kind of deserved it.
I
He
know.
really, like, overstepped his position, like drastically. Like, he didn't just overstep it. Like, he took a flying leap forward roll over it. And that's not the kind of hands-on that the coaches are supposed to do. And that's not the kind of hands-on that anybody in that situation is supposed to do, to peacefully break up a fight. You just don't start throwing girls around.
I think with that, too, is, you know what it is, too? And Leon's my boy. I love Leon. But the problem is,
Oh, yeah.
With what happened with Tomiko and Shelly Aphrodite de Silva, and Shelly's known for, for spitting and biting and the whole nine. She's just, she's Shelly. She's very intense. And what makes her Shelly Aphrodite de Silva. So Tomiko's relatively new. She comes in there and, she's trying to be all sportsmanlike, and then that happens, and Leon's throwing Jesse. Leon's throwing, Tomiko. And then what happened, what we saw at, LFC 28 and 29 with her matches. First and foremost, 2 great bouts against newcomer Sybil Starr and with Jesse El Toro Santos. So, I mean, Tomiko is one, like Bella Inc., I could classify them two together as like newcomers that are really looking to make a mark and make a name for themselves, and I think they've had so far in LFC. I mean, look at the fast rise of those two guys.
She's impressive. She's very impressive, but she's also very strategic and very, like, focused. And so, I mean, I didn't expect the restraining order, but I wasn't surprised by it.
Absolutely not. I mean, now going forward, I just had to say, first and foremost, what made me laugh about that, and I know it's not a laughing matter, but the fact that Leon had to, like, know what his distance had to be, and he's like, should I stand here? Should I stand over here? That made me laugh, because it's like, yes, you gotta get away from the girl. You put your hands on a woman, man, and you're not gonna, expect repercussions. So come on, man, you gotta step back.
Yeah. And I get that for Leon, like, it was, like just a really bad lapse of judgment. It's not like a recurrent thing that he does. It was just something was going on that kind of like that something was going on that night with Monica. Like something was going on with him that night that he just lost control a bit. So I mean, yeah, like his punishment of having to coach from, what was it, 20 yards from the ring?
Yes.
I think that was good and funny, and he deserved it. And I'm sure he learned his lesson.
Now, with you, I have to say this first and foremost. There is something about it, I think Korn said it best in their song Evolution. You got the beast inside. It's controlling your mind. I think that's kind of what we saw let out with you at LFC 27. Obviously not the way Monica wanted to win, but, you let that beast out. I mean, we've seen you, Jolene, have some of the best bouts in LFC history. But once something comes over you, I mean, it's kind of hard to, like, control yourself and contain yourself. And, I mean, you're a competitor. You're a hell of a competitor, but it's just like, God dang, man. Yeah, I mean, I was even like that, just watching you just take her down, slamming Holly down, and now Holly's going after you. And I mean, it's very interesting. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm intrigued to see what comes with you and Holly, you and Monica, you and Andrea, whatever comes for the future for you. I know it's going to be a hell of a bout. It's going to be a hell of a show. And you, as always, will entertain and kill it.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension going on right now between me and a couple of the girls. But yeah, I've always had that switch. So, and if anybody has ever looked up any of my other wrestling things, like, I don't know if I do it as often with LFC, but like my face just kind of changes and I get real, like, intense and sometimes go a little bit too hard and too far, and that just happens. So, I hope it stirred up enough shit that I'm going to get back in the ring with who I offended and finish it.
I was about to say...
I mean, it's not like undirected anger. I mean, it's definitely, like, for a reason.
Well, I was about to say, you're talking shit. I was about to say, you kind of like a little bit of the shit stir, but you like it because, I'll be honest with you, you were channeling your inner Tupac Shakur. You want all eyes on you, and now you've got them, Miss Jolene, the Valkyrie Hexx.
I try. It's good to know that...
So, I mean, you tried and succeeded, so I'll be honest with you, what we saw also as well with these LFC events, now I have to say this to you, because we also saw returns, like, for example, Genevieve Hexx was in there against Bella Inc. Sexy, nerdy, inked, and curvy. I wanted to ask you, just because as someone who's tattooed like yourself, you're inked. You're doing your thing. And I personally, as someone who's a tattoo lover himself, I have a couple cross pieces dedicated to my grandfather who passed away. And I have a couple of faithful pieces on my arm that I love and hold near and dear to my heart. What was that like to have that showcase for the girls that are sexy, nerdy, inked, and curvy?
I liked it that they focused on that, and I think that the girls that they picked to fight for that event were really good choices. That's usually not what I'm recognized for, so it was cool to come in the ring like as an inked girl, and it being more of an aesthetic kind of reason that we were all there. Like it was cool to not just be there because we're fighters, but be there because we're like inked fighters.
I look at it like this. Look at what Ink Magazine has done. You see a lot of inked babes. You look at what the Suicide Girls do. I mean, there's a lot of sexy people with some ink. And I mean, I'll say this to you. Your body is your canvas. You're telling the story with your tattoos. So I mean, I thought it was great. I thought you looked great in what you were doing, go entrance wise, just going in there. So it really exuded and accentuated each and every one of you.
Yeah, no, it was a really good group of girls that was picked for it, and I think everybody, really stood out uniquely as being inked fighters, inked female fighters.
I think what also made it interesting, too, is we had a return of when Sheila Crash Cardinal, and she took on Katie the Bombshell Forbes. Now, Katie Forbes, girlfriend of Rob Van Dam, Wow Women Wrestling as Chloe Hertz. Now, I thought that was very big that we got her in the main event. We got a returning Sheila Crash Cardinal, so it was good to see familiar faces and new faces come in, and that's, I think, what really makes LFC as a whole.
Yeah, that whole lineup was good that night. Everybody who stepped in that ring was worth it.
And then I look at with LFC 29. Now, we talked about Andrea winning, and we saw a lot of, new fighters as well. I have to ask you, I'm kind of curious, because we talked about Sybil Starr, and Sybil's a hell of a brawler and all right, but what did you think about a newcomer by the name of Gemma Jersey Babe Juliana? She was been very interested and integral about, wanting to become a part of LFC, and we got to see her make her debut.
I thought that she was great. I didn't know what to expect just by interacting with her before the fight, but when she got in the ring, she held her own, and she's one that I would like to see return.
You know what's interesting, and I could tell, first and foremost, this is why I like you, and I gotta say, we have that new generation coming in, and I'm gonna class a vet like yourself, Jolene, like Allie Baby Doll Parks, like Jessie El Toro Santos, like Holly, like Hot Lauren the Animal Fogel, so many girls. So this is why I also hold you in the highest regard, and as far as respect is, you're a veteran, you can help these girls, and I think you provide a lot, and you have that, a lot of those girls that I mentioned that I'm grouping you into, you have that mindset, and you have, you can give great advice and actually help these girls. So I got to say on that end, I think I hold you in high regard. That's really all I can say. But yeah, I appreciate you from that aspect.
Oh, thanks. Although I don't know if you should appreciate it, because how I would like to help them would be on the ring helping my staff. But of course, they learned something in the process.
Don't ruin the moment. I'm trying to give you some advice.
I gotta be honest, that's my favorite way to help people.
Here, you want a hand? Here, let me snap that fucking finger of yours.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Here, let me teach you something.
Before Gypsy Top Show Bay. Hey, let me choke you out. By the way, you want to go out some ice cream?
Yeah, you like to get ice cream after this? Hey, I can see us, looking at a cone together. Let's go.
Hey, I mean, hell, you licking some ice cream, give me some vanilla, give me some chocolate with a side of injured wounds and scars. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it was funny. It ended so quick. I wanted to play with her for a while, but it just didn't work out that way.
And the thing, too, is, see, you are the segue queen tonight, because we are talking about a lot, and you're making my job easy, and this is why I appreciate you, because going back to what you said, we were talking about, unfortunately, Shea Golden, did not show up for her bout with Gypsy. And the thing is with these booty camp stuff is, with LFC, the common misconception is that, it's lingerie, that's it, that's nice, they're just rolling around in their lingerie, but the training and everything that goes into it, so I had this conversation with Andrea, the training that goes into it, the trainers that help you ladies, like Greg Frito. I mean, Raul Ramirez from Catch Wrestling Alliance helped that Jenny Bloody Valentine in her bout against Tomiko at LFC 27. So there's a lot of aspects in training and everything that goes into it. Syndicate MMA, for example, with Jesse El Toro Santos, Laura the Animal Fogel, Roxanne Matafieri was also there with UFC, and hell, even Future Stars of Wrestling, if you want to throw them in from the wrestling aspect. There's a lot of stuff in Vegas that a lot of people don't even realize that's there, and for the common misconception, like I mentioned there, like, this shit is serious. And, excuse my language, but I'm going to curse. This shit is serious. If you're going to go in and you want to get into Lingerie Fighting Championship, and if you want to fight like yourself, Jolene, and get in there, and I don't know, maybe have an ice cream or something afterwards with, you know, this one over here. But I digress.
You gotta celebrate. Come on.
I know. But anyway, you miss... All right. Here, sidebar. Dairy Queen or Friendly's? What's the ice cream spot for you?
Oh, the best ice cream spot in Vegas?
Well, even just an ice cream period, miss. I'm going to take you out for ice cream.
What is the name of that place? I haven't been to this place in forever. It's a custard place up, kind of like in the Fremont area. Oh, man, I can't remember the name of it, but I know how to get there, and I'll take you there.
Okay. See,
okay.
This woman,
it's
delicious. You're a regular, you know, I know a place. I'll take you there.
Yeah.
I see you. All right. Okay, I dig what you're about. But anyway, back to the serious matter at hand and ice cream talk. Well, I'll be here about ice cream all day, man. There's Friendly's here, there's Dairy Queen here in Myrtle Beach, there's Kirk's Ice Cream Parlor. My God, I'll be in ice cream heaven by the end of this podcast. But we digress. Looking, like I was saying, this shit is serious. Like, you have to go in there, show up to the booty camp, train, work your ass off, just go in there. It's not just the matter of looking good from the beauty side of things. There's strength and there's dominance, the three key elements that really exude and accentuate all women as a work of art that they are in the LFC fighters. So it's just like, don't have that ignorant mindset and just say, oh, I'm going to do this, but actually really show up and fucking do it. If that makes sense. I know I kind of just ran with that, but you know.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more to it than just sucking it in and sticking it out. You got to get in there and, like, put your heart into it. And that's what separates, like, the girls that stay and the girls that don't come back.
So, yeah, that's all I had to say. And, I mean, as someone who does, you know, work with a lot of you ladies, I see that aspect and I see the work that goes into it. So I'm just like, people, and this actually applies to anything that correlates into real life, Jolene, do not have an ignorant mindset. Just, if you're going to do something, fucking do it, work hard. And that's all I really can say about that.
Yeah, like, you pour your soul into everything you do. Otherwise, don't fucking do it. And, I mean, it's funny watching people make that mistake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, with you, I have to mention this because we talked about venues. I mean, we went from the Nerd Bar, we went to Fremont, we went to Neapolis, we went to, you know, the Seamless Lounge, which, by the way, the rooftop. That gives a whole new meaning to the Lost Prophet song, Standing on the Rooftop, everybody scream your heart out. You got the Vegas Strip behind you. What a beautiful view that was.
It was so cool. And it was on the 4th of July. So, like, I got to, like, hang out on the rooftop, drinking champagne, watching people get their ass kicked, and watching the fireworks. Like, I have to tell you, like, those two fights of my suspension, it was nice kicking back and enjoying it.
Well, I really hope to see more there, which I'm sure there will, because like I said, Seamless was amazing for the rooftop aspect. I mean, we did the thing with Fremont with the ring, which, by the way, I'm curious to actually ask you, just because, I mean, we've seen the cage set up, we've seen the ring set up, so we've seen a lot of changes in there that gets to incorporate you ladies as far as your craft goes inside that squared circle.
I don't like the ring.
Nah.
I like the cage. Bring the cage back. I'm not a huge fan of the ring. I don't like the floor on it. I'm a cage girl. Put me in a cage any day. Like, I get that the ring's easier to transport and set up, but come on now, this is LFC. It's not wrestling.
See, I like that answer. Just because I will say this, because, the women's mixed martial arts aspect, and personally I like both because I'm a fan of both genres, but I will say this, the cage aspect, it was very cool. I mean, we got to see a lot of sexy entrances, and you girls get to do your thing on the cage, whether it be a sexy notion, or just, firing up the crowd. The ring, like you mentioned, it's easy to transport the 20 by 20 and getting in there, but yeah, I don't know what it was, but yeah, that cage element, like with LFC 25, for example, in previous LFC events, I mean, it has that sort of je ne sais quoi, dare I say that accoutrement, if you will.
Yeah, I mean the cage, like that feels good to me. That's my comfort zone. Lock me in a cage with another girl so I can beat her ass. So I don't know what it is about the ring, but rings like aren't comfortable for me. They're just not my thing.
You see, you know what it is too? Like I always like asking that question because a lot of people can adjust and some people are not a thing about it, and I appreciate that because a lot of people can adjust to it, and we have our certain stuff with it. So I think you actually said that beautifully because, like I said, everybody has their preferences, and I can respect that, Jolene. So like I said, I'm kind of glad I asked that because that was a beautifully said answer.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I feel like the ring kind of like distracts me on some levels from what I'm trying to do because it is so open and it's up, and like the cage, like there's nothing to consider except what the goal is.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what it is too? Like, first and foremost, I will say this. I've been campaigning for this. I want to see it happen. I think we've talked about this a lot. Like, from what we saw with Slovakia and Bratislava and all that, I definitely want to see now MMA TV Live. Got to give a shout out to them. They stream a lot of the stuff over there in the UK. We got Wrestling TG in UK over there doing a lot of shirts with yourself, Belenk, and all these people on there. So, I mean, UK, there's a market there. I'd definitely love to see a UK-run show there, see how the UK fans react to some lingerie fighting championship.
Yeah, I mean, we need to expand again. Like, I miss going abroad. So, one, with this production, I travel pretty regularly anyway, but I like it when I loved going to Bratislava. I love going to Europe with this production. I mean, even just out of Nevada, I like going to all the venues we've been to. And I like those 2-3 day, like, just intensive.
Well, I gotta say this. I think it will happen, and I hope it does happen, because I'll be honest with you, I've seen a lot of people that have been interested in LFC. I just recently did a written interview with one Mia Miao Ding out of China that would love to come here from Phuket Tot team over there in China. I love to, and Thailand and over there. So I'd love to see like Cindy Dandois, for example, from Belgium, who's Invicta. And I always say this about LFC, and I respect Invicta, Shannon Knapp being the owner there. But if you actually look at it, and tell me if you agree with this analogy here. In LFC is like Invicta, but with less clothing. Because it's still women's mixed martial arts, but there's less clothing. If you know what I'm saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
So, and I mean, look at what, the alumni who've gone on to UFC. I mean, Shayna Baszler and Jessamine Duke, who went on to WWE. So, I mean, it's very prestigious. And don't get me wrong, I think if there was ever, like, a relationship with Invicta and LFC, just because, like, women's mixed martial arts, the art form of it, but then adding a little more of the spectacle and the pageantry with the lingerie and just the overall prowess and the overall show and the spectacle, to reiterate, that is lingerie fighting championship. I mean, the possibilities are endless, Miss Hexx.
Yeah, I like that fantasy very much. I would like that to become a reality.
So, I hope so. And I know we're just spitballing and going random ideas here, but people, we are passionate about the brand that is lingerie fighting championship. We're also passionate about some ice cream, so yeah. Here's the thing. Yes.
But that's one thing. With female fighters, I like LFC specifically because it accentuates the femaleness of it. Like, watching people fight is cool regardless of gender, but like, women have a lot to bring to the table, so like, why not?
So, personally, I agree 100 on that. I hope something happens. I hope to see more with LFC. I know we will see more with LFC. Just really all I could say to the fans and people that listen to this is stay tuned, because Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, and I'm going to say this to you. First and foremost, whether we're talking about ice cream, there goes ice cream again, spiders, killing spiders, whether we're talking about music and talking about your days of, motocross and dirt bike and a little System of a Down like we talked about last time. Chop suey, wake up, grab brush a little makeup. You know what I'm talking about.
Good days.
Yes. There's a lot of interest that you and I have a lot of and are really into. So like I said, it's always a joy first and foremost to talk and interact, and a pleasure always to speak with you. So I will say this, as always, anytime you want to come back on, the platform is open and you are always welcome.
I really appreciate that. Like these podcasts, you inviting me on, it's a really nice way to recollect and put all those experiences in perspective and get a few laughs out of it, as well as, promoting the amazing things that we do and all the awesome girls involved and all the awesome guys involved. And thank you for doing this and being involved in the way that you are.
I appreciate that. I'll be honest with you. You know who I actually have to thank in a way for getting me LFC? It's actually kind of funny. So I'll pull behind the curtain here just because I think the world of a lot of these people, and this one in particular. Allie Baby Doll Parks, a.k.a. Allie Parker. So I interviewed her talking about her wrestling, and here's the thing. When I do these podcasts, little tidbit of what the guy behind the show does with his notes and his half of, just winging it and shooting the breeze just because I'm so passionate about what I do, but I digress. I looked up with Allie, this LFC. What is this LFC, this Lingerie Fighting Championship? I got to say, first and foremost, Miss Testosterone over here level. We know where I'm going here. Yes, we have beautiful women. We have beautiful women, but I always respected the art forms that is mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and all the other art forms of combative nature that goes into lingerie fighting championships. I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. And then slowly but surely, I'm interviewing a lot of people like yourself, Jolene, and Allie, and Jesse El Toro Santos, and Lauren, and hell, even Sean Donnelly, the CEO of Lingerie Fighting Championships. So there's a lot of things that I really love doing, and LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship is one of them. So anytime I get to support and rep the brand, I am more happy to do that. So that is coming straight in from the heart of the host here.
Well, coming straight from the heart of the champ. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You Miss European champ, bringing the champion of Europe, the champion of Europe. So
it's good to be the champ.
It is. I see you parading that belt up. Look at me, I'm the champ. Oh, whether it's around your waist, you're just lifting high in the air. I am the champion, my friend. You're going to start singing some Queen on us?
Yes. You can play that over at the end of the interview if you want to go ahead and dub that in.
I probably will. Yes. So, first and foremost, before we even close that, I will say this. People, if you're not checking out Lingerie Fighting Championship, what the hell are you doing? Because you should.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Because you got Jolene the Valkyrie.
Hexx. With your life, but you're missing out, on everything.
So, should I even call you, soon to be double champ, Miss? I'm gonna come and I'm gonna be European champ. I'm gonna be Andrea again and hold double belts. You're gonna be the champ.
Yeah, the champ. We should just go ahead and then state that title now.
It's a foregone conclusion, is what you're saying, pretty much.
Yes.
So Miss Hexx, before we even close out, I'm going to give you the floor. Promote where everybody can find you. The links will be in the description, by the way, for everything Lingerie Fighting Championship from the website and all of that in there. But where people can find the champ, the European champ, Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx, where can we find you?
All right, well, the champ is actually pretty elusive. My only social media is Facebook. I'm not on it a whole lot. You can try. And really just follow LFC. LFC is where a ton of my energy and time is invested in. I've got a couple of other projects that I jump in here and there, and those I do post on Facebook. So if you jump on Facebook, you'll see the other things as they pop up. But I've just been a fighter for the last 2 years. I kind of went all in. So LFC is where to be.
I will say this first and foremost. All right, I think you'll appreciate this. So, Straight No Chaser is a acapella group from IU, and here's how Facebook comes into this. One of the first ever Facebook things I saw on YouTube was they had a song called Facebook Stalking. It was all acapella, and the lyrics went a little something like this: Facebook stalking, we're having some fun. Facebook stalking, I'm not the only one. I like your favorite books and movies and shows on TV. I see you poke me back, but what the hell does that mean? Now, this is early stages of Facebook. This legit exists. So I will put this in the description for those that want to watch Facebook stalking. We're having some fun.
Yeah, that's really like that's really all you can do with me because I'm just not that involved socially. Yeah, stalk me. I dare you. See what happens.
Now, see, you segued again because you know what the last part of that song, you know how it goes?
I don't. What is it? Sing it to me.
They go, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook stalking, we're having some fun. Ooh.
That was great. I'm totally taking you out for ice cream.
Oh, thank you. But please don't like choke me first before that. Like I'm just an innocent podcaster, spectator, bystander, just watching the action. Just don't like choke me before we even go out for ice cream though.
Like I have to work up an appetite. Come on now.
That's true. All right, you see, you got a point there. You know, you see, you say something and you're just like, come on, think of it this way. You know, you're twisting my arm here. You're twisting my arm, Miss Jolene Hexx. So. First and foremost, before we even close that again, and before I play us some We Are the Champions, because I'm going to do it just because, do you have any final words for the LFC fans, the LFC faithful, and the supporters and the fans of the champ, Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx?
Well, to the people that support and follow LFC, like, thank you. Like, we wouldn't be doing this without you. So it's imperative you keep doing it, and I'm kind of like Tinkerbell, so you got to keep rooting for me so I can keep being the champ and eventually the double champ.
It's a foregone conclusion. So
I'm like a violent Tinkerbell, so just like clap your hands and like make it happen.
So you're disturbed, like the band, pun intended, because you're stricken. You know, you're indestructible. So you're all that in one. I see what you're doing here, Jolene Hexx.
Just having a good time.
That is true. So, first and foremost, Jolene the Valkyrie Hexx. My name is Mike Larkin. Thank you guys for listening to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. And to close this out, we are going to close it out with some Queen We Are the Champions, because she is the champion. You're the European champ, possibly soon to be double champ. Here we go. So,
who's the champ? I'm the champ.
So here we go. But first and foremost, before I even play this, Jolene, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Mike, thank you again.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've